Nearly 20 years ago on Thanksgiving night, a man died after being shot in a crowded parking lot in Colorado Springs.
Despite there being so many witnesses, though, the case eventually went cold. KRDO News Channel 13 senior reporter Sydney Schofield joins us live in studio with this Colorado cold case special report. Sydney.
Bart, Mallory, for the first time ever, Colorado Springs police sat down with us to talk about this case. With so many people being around when Brandon Brown was killed, they're hopeful someone might come forward all these years later.
When he was world-liked, I don't remember not once him having any enemies or anything like that. He just had a lot of friends that really cared about him.
Of the 7 people we spoke to in person and the other 4 who joined in on Zoom, not one had a single bad thing to say about Brandon Brown.
He was a great grandson. I've got a lot of memories of him. He used to make me laugh at a lot of things he did.
The 23-year-old loved his family, loved his friends, and always put others above himself. On Thanksgiving night in 2005, Brandon spent time with his cousins, who more closely resembled brothers. And when he went to leave, something strange happened.
We never shook hands or hugged. But we were cousins. We knew that we loved each other. But when he left at 8:30, he actually shook my hand. And even Randy was like, "That's weird. We've never done that ever." And that's the last time I saw him.
He called his family, too.
Something he had never done before. Get on the phone and call all of his family members.
Yeah, he said goodbye, on the phone. But it's not like he knew what was going to happen to him. So spiritually, I thought he knew, but didn't know.
He went out with friends to a club and then ended up at Denny's in the middle of the night in northeast Colorado Springs. In a busy parking lot, a single shot was fired, hitting Brandon in the heart. His friends rushed him to the hospital, but he didn't make it. Colorado Springs police believe he was shot from a car by someone who followed him and his friends from the club.
There's a potential vehicle of interest. It was described as a dark-colored Explorer or Expedition, and back in 2004, some of the witnesses described it as new.
They're not sure if he was the intended target.
As far as Brandon as a victim, it doesn't appear that he was involved in anything that should have even close to caused his injuries to his death.
His family agrees with that part, shutting down any rumors of Brandon being involved with a gang or any criminal activity at all.
Of course he wasn't in a gang, but I can't even remember him ever being in trouble at all. Not at school, not outside of school. I can't even remember him getting a speeding ticket.
They have their own theories about what really happened that night.
I always thought that maybe they were showing off his gun, whatever, in the parking lot and accidentally shot Brandon. Because the story doesn't fit.
Springs police are adamant that each of the friends he was with that night cooperated with police. However,
are you aware if anyone in Brandon's group was armed that night?
I will not answer that.
And at this point, his family is hoping that enough time has passed that someone might be ready to come forward.
So they have to know what happened. They have to know who did it, period.
Some members of Brandon's family, like his uncle, refuse to give up.
And I'll tell you what, if my doctor told me I had 6 months to live, I'd solve that case. Because I'd go to one of those friends, I know one of them, and I'd find out who shot Brandon.
We're sure it was an accident, but tell us, I just don't understand why somebody wouldn't come forward with some information.
As the years pass, the loss does not get easier for Brandon's family as they pray someone will finally bring them closure.
Maybe they will have some empathy and try to help us solve this case, because it kills us to not know what happened.
If you know anything that might help solve Brandon Brown's case, you can call Colorado Springs Police directly, or if you want to remain anonymous, you can report information to Crime Stoppers. Reporting from our studio, I'm Sydney Schofield, KRDO News Channel 13.